you're tempering down a little bit, and why is this?
Well, we're just, the conversations around capacity. So we're really not, we're trying to sell is what we think is important. The market wants connectivity. They're really focused on getting engaged with it. And so we think just in general that's where the value is. And so it's not around antenna sizes or radomes or bird strikes. Those kind of engagements are kind of the wrong area for us. What we're focused on in our innovations is in the satellite space, which is what makes it makes the value to the passenger and airline tick.
It really is a new paradigm for airlines. Sitting across the table with a satellite company, they're used to the middleman involved. What is it like from your side of the table?
It's new space for us. It's definitely, we're in a new industry, so we're used to our satellite industry. We've been in aviation for about 10 years.
Sure, you've got the biz app side.
We got the biz app side, so we've been walking our way in. So we've been working with Gulfstreams of the world and Bombardiers, and so now we're kind of in the next generation of aviation, which is Airbus, Boeing, an airline, an international airline or a U.S. one. So there's definitely high demands. It's a well-established industry with high expectations. So
right. Obviously, you've got some nice deals already that you're supporting, and the most recent one, El Al, it was a real coup because I know that they're a very particular airline on a number of levels, particularly security, of course. Where else do you see yourself carving out some market share here in the near term?
So in the near term, where we have a lot of capacities in the U.S. and Europe with our partner Eutelsat. So Europe has got a lot of airlines that haven't committed yet, so we think there's a lot of activity, and we're pretty excited about adding Europe. El Al was our first direct contract there. With ViaSat 2, we're right at the beginning of the sales cycle to take advantage of ViaSat 2, which launches in 2016. It's going to be in service by the end of 2016. It's going to open up the routes to South America and the transatlantic route. So a lot of airlines are really interested in that. In the airline industry, the transatlantic is the gold route, the New York to London. And so a lot of activity, a lot of excitement around sort of bringing what we did for JetBlue to that transcon.
And you haven't yet decided who will launch ViaSat?
ViaSat 2 is not, the launcher is, at least I haven't been told. Maybe there is a decision, but I'm not.
So you've had some discussions with Elon Musk for potentially down the road, maybe?
SpaceX is a launcher. Pretty innovative, so we like what they're doing.
Yeah, interesting. Eutelsat has started talking about its offering in Europe, which is great, and of course you guys work with them.
We do.
And they kind of rely on you for some serious technology. The ViaSat technology that Eutelsat uses.
It's our surf beam.
Surf beam.
Yeah, so that's the underlying technology. So
Tell us about that.
So surf beam is, our satellites and our offerings are totally vertically integrated. So surf beam itself is just one component of a vertical offering.
Right.
So that's essentially the transmission subsystem. So it's how you manage the satellite bandwidth. It's the modem is involved in that. It's the acceleration of IP, and it's how the internet acts over the satellites, and how all that seamlessly comes together.
And you do that for them.
We do that for them. So
could they go elsewhere? Could they find another company to work with?
They could if they wanted to, but they would have to tear out a lot of infrastructure and make use of. It's for spot beams. It's not easy to sort of convert the entire network over to different technology. So it's quite an infrastructure play.
So ViaSat has made it pretty clear to the market you want to be prime on these contracts with the airlines.
We are, we're going down that road. One of the things is for us to be successful, we think it's a big market. We're committed to this market, and for us to be successful, our value proposition has to get put forward, and sometimes being prime is what we have to do if we want to get the experimentation and get what we did with JetBlue to really happen. So that was an innovative, disruptive way of entering the market. For free, very good.
Yeah, no, that definitely was. And of course, we're hearing fantastic reports also about the United install.
United.
You guys are at 60 aircraft?
Well, total is about 66, I think, as of I looked at my email today.
Wow.
We're doing about 1 or 2 a day.
Wow.
Kind of an end roll.
Okay. And so it's kind of interesting days then. STC-wise, how far along the path are you there?
So with LL, we're getting a 737, on our route. So that'll be an STC.
Working with anyone at this juncture, or?
We're going to procurement, so we're going to be hiring an outside firm to be, as our subcontractor to do the STC work.
Radome.
Radome, we've already done that.
Sticking with General Dynamics.
No, I can't say who the radome provider is. It's not General Dynamics.
Interesting. I don't think people appreciate, and anyone who is watching this at this time on YouTube, I don't think people appreciate how competitive the radome market is.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit of, we do a lot of military business,
yes.
so we actually have a lot of suppliers that don't play in the commercial aviation.
Right.
That we've been using a lot on our military business, and so we've been able to cross over some of those suppliers, that are helping us with our K8 or KU offerings.
Which is fascinating also. It's great news for them because a lot of them have been hit with severe defense budget cuts.
Yeah. So
they're able to pick up some work in the
some market share,
tech space, which puts a smile on my face. Yeah. When I see anyone in the military-industrial complex have to come over to the passenger experience. I love that. So kind of going forward, what about wide bodies? I know obviously you guys are regional right now. Do you see pockets of sub-fleet regional flying domestic that you could break into?
There's some of that. I think with ViaSat 2, the transatlantic is really going to break into. Yeah. One of the other things that we're seeing, and it's not done yet, but what we're seeing is a softening of our KU-KA offering that we've...
So this is the hybrid that we've talked about.
Yeah, the hybrid. We talked about that for a number of years. Without us in the market, we didn't have a lot of... no one quite knew what this KA thing was going to be. So having a more complex, heavier antenna was sort of, wait a second, it's risky here, and then why do I need to do this? So we didn't get a lot of traction. We've launched it on our military. It'll be flying by the end of this year. It's in certification right now. And we're actually seeing a softening from a lot of people out there that actually see what we've done at KA and see the difference. And now they're saying, hey, I actually want to get access to that.
What does this antenna look like that we're talking about?
It looks a lot like that antenna.
Except... How is it hybrid? So it's one, it's one panel?
It's one pedestal.
No?
It'll be one pedestal with two panels.
Okay, two panels.
And the two panels will be opposite sides of each other. So
and one will be KU and one will be KU?
And then as you switch from one, the antenna will just flip 180 degrees.
I should scan over here now, Don, and just show that people are trying.
We're putting away
the secretive antenna is getting. There it is. It's getting put away. Oh, sorry. Up close and personal there a second ago. And you feel that the market's going to warm then?
Yeah, they're warming up to it. Yeah, because what it's really about, what we're trying to push, is less about what's happening on the aircraft. From an equipment point of view, it's more about what can I deliver with this service. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I could get that much to every passenger, and then all of a sudden the question of a couple more kilos of weight is kind of not as big of a picture. It's actually the noise when the discussion happens.
I mean, then maybe you understand on the network why we believe it's so important for the passenger to be educated about the technologies that are available.
Yeah.
It makes a difference because passengers have a voice now that they hadn't had in the past. Via social media, right?
Yep.
So you guys have kind of in the past spoken about potentially being interested in a partnership with Inmarsat for Global Express that could give you global coverage and augment it.
Yeah, that would be in there, and we're always interested in that. We think it makes sense, but business.
But that doesn't need to happen.
It doesn't need to happen. No, we've got multiple plans to do that.
And you will ultimately, if that did not happen, stitch together a regional service.
Yeah, well, we're already going to have a global coverage. It's just not. It's not if, it's when.
It's when.
Yeah, and so we'll have it. Yeah, we'll have global coverage.
So when Eutelsat says it's going to be still another 10, 15 years, what do you say to that?
I'd say they're probably about 2 times too long.
Okay.
I'd say another 5 to 7 years is probably what it's going to take to get the region, to get the highest density air routes in all the continents connected.
What do you think about some of the big announcements this week? We've got GoGo 2KU. Is that going to be a viable competitor to what you guys are doing?
Not really. It's essentially just a KU bandwidth offering. When I talk about capacity, it's all about capacity, and that they're really not bridging the gap towards us. We're ViaSat 1. It's got 140 gigabits per second. So if you take a 1 gigabit per second KU and you get, believe it, at the top level, you double it, you're only at 2 gigabits per second. So they're really not pushing towards where we're at in capacity. ViaSat 2 is essentially doubling what we're doing on ViaSat 1. So that's what we're making a big difference.
And then in not dissimilar vein, Panasonic Avionics and pushing very, very hard on high throughput satellite connectivity. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, they're going to advance the game of KU. They're going to probably get a 5 to 10x sort of improvement on current KU, which is nice, but it's still not where we're at with KU.
Okay. They are packaging EX Connect now with Iridium, which is interesting. they're going safety services, Iridium,
Sure, yeah,
and
that makes sense, yeah.
What about yourselves? Would you see yourselves pairing up at a safety services approved?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, in the GA world, we've talked to, with Iridium on that
Okay,
as
you
well.
have.
Yeah.
So when you look at who's doing what in safety services, would you be somewhat impressed with Iridium's plans?
Yeah, I think so. As long as they get their certs around the world, it's good to have a healthy competitor in that marketplace.
I'm hearing that a lot.
Having a single source, maybe the subscription prices
keeps
may not
everybody
be as high.
honest, right?
Yeah, really. What we're hearing from the OEMs is now that our capacity is available, they're actually opening up to new ideas of what they can do with the connected aircraft from a maintenance perspective and logistics. Because before it just wasn't economical to get that kind of massive amount of bandwidth off. But now that we've come along, we've actually opened up their eyes to, hey, some of the stuff that we thought was way out in the future is actually here today. And
which is why Boeing is working with you guys, right?
It's one of the reasons, they really believe in
What about Airbus?
Airbus is interesting. Yeah, Airbus sort of, I think they're seeing it. JetBlue, our launch customers, flying their aircraft around.
Airbus has an affinity for the Inmarsat programs, however. They like the SBB, they like the GX, they like near global.
Yeah, so what they're recognizing, I think, is that there's a global solution and there's a regional solution. And so I think they find that there's probably not one size fits all when it comes to connectivity in today's marketplace. And they realize it'll change over time, but...
Finally, of course, you guys have mentioned in the past, and so has Zodiac, this kind of packaging of interiors and connectivity. How do you see that going?
So right now we're trying to work together in some retrofit programs, which I think is pretty exciting.
Really?
And trying to make use of some of the things that we do really well and some of the things they do really well.
So say, for example, like a United, for example.
Yeah, a United or any of these sort of, kind of bigger airlines that sort of, have a heavy maintenance and logistics footprint.
Right.
Where Zodiac is excellent at that.
And you can come in with maybe potentially better pricing then, if you've got a
possibly, yeah. We're always looking. I like what they've done with their rave system. They really tried to innovate and sort of bring the seat back. To do some innovations, bring that cost down. And so it's we're all about disruption, and so we like working with companies that.
So the investors that are paying very, very close attention now to the industry and the hedge funds and all of these.
We've noticed.
All of these guys, yes, they're very funny. Would you recommend that they keep an eye on the interior space as well?
Yeah, I think it's all going to be coming together, and you're going to see the way the internet's going, right? People are cutting their TV cord, so linear programming.
That's me. I just cut cable the other day.
I'm going to start doing it soon myself, and you're seeing this over-the-top phenomenon, and that's where we see it going as well.
Okay.
So when we look out 10 years, I don't know if you know, if you're a hockey fan, but Wayne Gretzky had a quote, how do you score so many goals? It's, I don't skate to where the puck is, I skate to where the puck's going to be. And so where we see the market going is this heavy internet, TV, and merging of content and internet.
And maybe Hollywood ultimately relenting?
Yeah, Hollywood, we'll see.